Hello, everybody. It's JT here. We're talking everything Free Joe Exotic. We've had some technical difficulties today, but I'm going to see if we can't join the man himself, John Reinke, to this stream. And then we're going to touch base with Jesse, and we're going to have a quick update today.
Thanks.
Are we in there?
Yeah, we're in there. We're live, talking everything Free Joe Exotic. Reinke, I apologize. Both Jesse and I were trying to coordinate a couple of different things, and we didn't get. We had some technical issues today.
That's fine.
So
that's fine.
But I still wanted to touch base and tap in with you because I know everybody was waiting, and I don't doubt. Let me see if I can just invite Jesse to this.
This thing is live right now?
We're live on Instagram right now. Are you in the race car shop?
I'm in my printing room, actually.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw some race car graphics there for a minute.
I probably did. That's why I do all the vinyl work, all the graphics.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Cool. Well, yeah, I invited Jesse in here. I think it's a lot better when there's all three of us. We have some topics. Last week, everybody was complaining on Instagram because I was filming the screen or whatever, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on. So next week we'll have some different software, so it'll just push out to everybody. Yeah. You know. So I mean, thank you to all of the supporters and the people that have tuned in. Joe is very thankful for your support and help, and you really need to just keep pushing the Justice Department, our politicians.
Yeah, it's great
because it's just bullshit. And if you don't know who I am, I'm just I'm a TV producer. I shot a bunch of stuff with Joe over a decade ago. Some of the original Tiger King stuff I actually shot with John and Joe almost a decade ago. Which they kind of repurposed and kind of misused to tell y'all a different story in the Tiger King, which was their narrative. But Reinke lived that narrative, the actual truth, and Reinke was there more than anybody. So it's good that you know, I'm glad you're still here, and I'm glad to see we still have, you know, so many supporters for Joe. Have you got support, Joe?
We just got the right. We got to get the right support out there. It's crazy how there's a movie star right now that's looking at 5 years for killing somebody on the set, and Joe got 21 years for bullshit. I mean,
not only is it bullshit, but it's the people who put him there have recanted their statement.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, they committed.
They were all felons. They let them on the stand, and they were felons. I mean, that's just crazy in itself right there. But it's one-sided. It sure is. And we got to get that judge dismissed because he's animal rights. I mean, you can't have an animal rights judge and deal with animals. You're going to lose every time.
Yep. It's just like looping into the case with Joe. Joe's case was originally about this alleged setup of a murder for hire, and then they want to lump in animal rights charges to a murder case. That doesn't even that's completely against how our justice system works here. Like,
it's pretty messed up. So we went in for that resentencing, and they just hammered him with the max on everything. So it took off like a year, I think, 1 year.
Oh, what a farce! I saw that. It was the obviously it's that judge trying to make a power play. You know, he wants to get moved on up, and I guess the way I've been reading a lot, if you look at a lot of the literature and everything, and the videos John Phillips and the documents everybody puts out, and they reflect that this is just a power move by the judge. That's how they get elected. That's how they get move up in the Supreme Court, is by locking people up.
We're learning every day. I mean, look at Biden. They found more material that shouldn't have been in his house, and I mean, it's all getting just pushed under the table.
Right. Meanwhile, Joe's rotting away. He's very sick. You know, the media's twisting his narrative. There's really not. You got to be really careful reading anything about Joe out there in the media, because that's not coming from Joe. It's pushed out by some reporter and then chopped up by another media outlet, and they pick out the 3 or 4 sentences they like, and then that's the narrative they give you. Well, that's what's going on, but that's just not the case. You know, it's a huge injustice been done to Joe. John lived it, saw it. John was there. John knew very well that Joe wasn't trying to kill Carol.
But yet John is a fan, so.
It's funny because you know, what's even funnier is the thing about her husband coming out. Like, is she this desperate for news that she's got to put out a 2-year-old article? And by the way, do any of y'all have friends in Homeland Security? Or, like, because this has to be a federal offense, because they're presenting documents like they're from Homeland Security, and there's no way in hell the Homeland Security doesn't give a fuck about somebody who disappeared in 97. They didn't even form Homeland Security till 02.
No, that's just put that up now. That was all just old stuff that she's recirculating to stay in the news. She's obviously got something coming up, and she's just trying to stir up the news like she always does. I heard she's working on another animal act put through Congress. It may be hearsay, I don't know, but they're going after different animals this time. I've said it all along, man. These people are coming after your cats and dogs that you have in your house. I'm telling you, it's happening right in front of you.
People didn't realize it. A lot of people. I actually did 2 4-hour interviews for the original Tiger King series. They actually, the way they looped me into that was, they told me they had Chris Smith reach out to me, who was unrelated to Rebecca and Eric, right? Yeah. And he's a big Emmy-winning director. I looked him up. Oh, Chris, cool. And he said, hey, we're shooting a show about big cat owners, and Joe Exotic might be in 1 episode. And he was like, would you be interested in interviewing with us? And I was like, sure. But you know what? I shot 2 different 4-hour interviews with them, and I guess they just couldn't cut up what I said, because I went in because I know, you know, PETA kills 90% of every animal they get their hands on. I know, I've seen the horror stories, and people don't realize, like, this isn't like a conspiracy theory. This is, go read the Huffington Post and CNN, and you'll see PETA kills every animal they get their hands on. And it's just crazy that these billion-dollar powerful organizations can do this. And not only that, but that they would be indebted to some crazy gangster lady in Florida. Like, whatever she's got over on this $500 million organization, I don't know.
You know, it's totally crazy. I did a TikTok live, and I got kicked off because I was talking about somebody that's a suspect in the husband's disappearance, got a law carried all the way to the president's desk, got it signed, and they kicked me off right after that. I mean, it just says everybody's hiding that. Everybody's covering that up. They say what they want.
Yep.
The bitch was in Congress, and there's video of her walking out, and she's a suspect. I mean, how is that even possible? How did she?
Yep. Well, at least some of the good things that came out of Tiger King is, you know, the world realized Joe is pretty entertaining and a good dude, but also that the world realized that Carol Baskin is that bitch. Like, nobody likes Carol Baskin, and it was very plainly laid out that she obviously had something to do with her husband's murder or disappearance. If she didn't do it herself, she even clues you in. And it's funny that the entire, it's not like just 1 or 2 of us saying this on the internet. It's the millions of people that have now watched Tiger King. This is the facts you walk away from it from. Yeah. She's a meme across the country, you know, fed her husband to the tigers. So I hope at least out of the Tiger King, the politicians and the people at PETA that took the blood money from Carol to push this stuff through know they're taking blood money. Yeah. But
so let's clear this up. I was actually supposed to testify at Joe's original trial, and they told me, we don't need you, Reinke. And I said, how do you not need the #1 guy on the facility for 14 years in this trial? And they told me they were convinced this was a shut case, open and shut case. They had at convictions, and they dismissed me. I didn't get to go to the trial until they dismissed me. I got to go to the last, I think, 3 days. So I didn't get called. I'm not a felon.
Right.
Eric was a felon.
They convicted him on the word of a crackhead and a felon and a con man. And meanwhile, people like you who worked 80 hours a week and lived at the zoo and were there day in and day out, they didn't hear a word from.
Yeah. I didn't even get the opportunity to say on the stand any of the information that I had. I can promise you if we get another trial, I will.
Absolutely, and that's what we need. The judge needs to be recused. He's obviously biased. He's been after Joe for Carol Baskin for over a decade. So he's, to me, and it's funny because Joe has so many. I wish Jesse was in here, but again, we had the technical difficulties. He's in Spain. But people outside of the U.S. looking in are bigger Joe supporters than the people that live here.
Yeah,
because they can see, like, what the hell is going on with your justice system?
90% of my Instagram is the UK. I mean, it's crazy how popular we were over there. But, from what I understand, they can't have big cats over there. So this is something exciting for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you're just joining us, we're just talking things Free Joe Exotic. We're going to have a longer, better setup across multiple platforms next week. At the same time with Jesse. Jesse's live on TikTok right now, and the way things are set up between the laptops and the computers, we can't just tune them all together.
Right.
And people on the Instagram last week hated it when I tried to film the Zoom we were doing. So, or at least that's what my friends that read the comments said, because I didn't get a chance to read the comments. So
get it set up and work. But I can't make next week because I'll be traveling. I'll be in my car. Do it, but
okay,
that I will be. So work on.
Are you racing next week?
No, I'm actually. I got to go back to. I'm going to San Antonio, and I'll be traveling from San Antonio back to babysitting cats. I got to go back to babysitting cats again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, at least you still have that passion. It's just horrible that that Carol's created this monopoly law too, and crazy for me looking at it that people didn't see it. Like, don't they realize that every single person related to Tiger King is arrested or dead or in jail or thrown away just for Joe being the worst of them all? It's total, like, not only that, but the suffering he endured in Oklahoma. TMZ put out an article yesterday. It's total bullshit. Of course, the jail said they didn't hurt Joe. Oh, he didn't get tied butt naked to a chair and abused. And if you believe that, I have beachfront property for you in Colorado. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here. Like, anybody that's been incarcerated know they're treated subhumans. Yeah. We have a prison industrial complex. It's a money system. It's not about justice.
No.
It's no longer about justice. It's about who can pay to play, and then
portion and stuff that goes on inside them walls.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just insane, the injustice that's being done to Joe inside the BOP, and I would really call on the Justice Department, like, what is going on? The world is looking at us. People from overseas are looking at us like we're animals. Like, this is how we treat people, and Joe did have his faults, and you and I have our own opinions, but I spent many years and many months at the park, and these animals were not abused. Joe's cats were better cared for than any. I've been to a lot of different places in the decades I started working with Joe, and the one thing that stuck out in my head everywhere else I went, besides the GW Zoo, I was like, this place is a shithole. I feel sorry for the animals here.
There's nothing that makes me madder than when somebody says, what about all the animal abuse? There was no freaking animal abuse. I can assure you. If I caught somebody abusing an animal, starving an animal, not giving them water, they were fired.
They're fired. And we're in the country. This is Oklahoma. Fired and get your ass kicked is what they needed to kick the dude's ass that burned the studio down instead of just throw him off the park.
That almost turned into an ass kicking because that got pretty much. But,
yeah.
It is.
No, but no, people, please write to your congressman, write to the Justice Department, write to Biden, and everybody online right now. Please go tweet the POTUS.
Yeah.
Tweet the president. Tell him do something about Joe Exotic, because obviously, the wheels of justice turned very slowly. Everybody's recanted their statements. And, Joe is currently in there for putting down some tigers. Joe got charged for putting down tigers by the FBI that the USDA directed him to put down.
Yeah, we were allowed to we were allowed to euthanize them if the vet couldn't be obtained. And
Yep.
it was late. We didn't bother the vet. He just put them down. They were.
And
I don't give a crap what anybody says. They were not 4-year-old tigers. They were old, declawed, decrepit tigers. There's a lot of BS.
a lot of the BS comes from Lowe, who came in, stole the zoo from Joe. With it, it's funny. With the clip I love is where they laugh and make jokes about putting perfume on his boots. Like, I learned about this very early working with y'all. You can't wear lotion or cologne or you get around big cats. And for them to spray perfume on him boots, this is like practically 50-50 a death sentence. And if you want to know how much Joe loved the cats, 99% of the world, if a tiger, a 500-pound tiger, grabs me by the foot and drags me, I'm shooting him in the fucking face.
Nothing you can do.
I'm not shooting in the ground like Joe shoots in the ground.
Yep.
Joe shoots in the cat. Joe would have let his tiger kill him before he would have hurt that cat. And that's evident by him being dragged around in the ring and shooting in the air. And so to call it animal abuse or whatever, this is the narrative coming from the gangster lady in Florida and the con man who scammed Prince and Evel Knievel shit and is a federal informant. So based off these people's opinion, even if he did do anything wrong with animals, the man's been incarcerated and abused and locked down for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? They're actually, it's disgusting to me. They have him at a unit with a bunch of pedophiles and child molesters, the most disgusting fucking humans on the planet. And do you know what? The BOP protects them like nothing else. And these motherfuckers abuse your children and go do a couple years in the feds and they let them out. Meanwhile, they lock up Joe for life for some kind of story with some hitmans.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely added for sure. The whole justice system needs an overhaul, like severely.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But again, I know you got some time. You won't be able to tune in with us next week. We're gonna start doing this regularly. We need to speak up for Joe, but I need everybody online. If you've seen the Tiger King, Joe was set up. And so it just blows my mind that the politicians and our leaders and the Justice Department won't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But not to beat a dead horse, but the best thing people can do right now, contact their politicians, contact the president, push for a pardon, and for Joe personally, Joe has nothing. I don't know if people don't realize that either. There was a huge money grab after Tiger King, where the people who produced the series and some of the people who appeared on the series, they paid these people a lot of money. Carol herself got rich off of it. Joe's ex-husband got very rich off of it. And what is he like? What did he have talent like? It just blows my mind. Like, the people can take the Tiger King moniker and profit off of it when you never were even around the people.
What was he involved? Like 6 months when Joe left? I mean, he wasn't even with Joe for 6 months when he left.
That's right.
And he
wanted nothing to do with Joe the whole time he was locked up. The moment the series came out, suddenly, hey, and he was. Joe told me what his ex-husband made, and it disgusted me when I heard it. Meanwhile, Joe's sitting in there with $30 in his commissary account. So if you want to help Joe, donate to his commissary. But I appreciate everybody. Joe appreciates you guys. We're gonna tune in this time next week. We're gonna get a much better. We're going to get not a better setup, but we're going to have the technical difficulties sorted out well before 4 o'clock. And we're just thankful for all the fans and the supporters and everybody who can be there. And, you know,
you know, if you can support Joe by sending him some commissary money, you know, $4 or $5 helps a lot. So try and
people know. He literally has $30 into his account. I've talked with him in the past couple. You know, I'm not going to say when. I've talked with him, and he's like, I got $30. You know, and then there was other people that have said, you know, there's the best way to support Joe is just give it to him, put it on his commissary, so he's got something to use right now, and then continue to write your politicians.
Yeah,
and push for this.
Just use Twitter, or you know, Twitter's the best way to get a hold of them, because the right people are reading their Twitters. So that's
yes, sir.
That's where you got to get it started. But call your local congressman. You know, tweet them. Tweet the president. I mean, the right one's going to look at that one day.
Absolutely, somebody's looking at that. So please blow up the president.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, wherever your political leanings are, it's unfortunate. You know, some people are so left and right wing, and you know, they're both two sides of the same bird. It's the same bird. You know, wherever your political leanings are, that was what I think everybody identified with Joe, because he just embodied so many different things from everywhere. You know, he was a gay polygamist, but he's a gun carrying redneck.
Yep.
So. Like, there's so many different people that could identify with that, and he's been falsely.
21 years.
No, he doesn't deserve 5, and he's already done 5. So now you have this man falsely accused. The people set him up. This is bullshit. Get out there and make a difference, y'all.
Yeah.
And thank you for supporting Joe Exotic. If you want to do anything related to Tiger King, you want to talk to anybody related to Tiger King, you talk to John Reinke. He's the only good guy besides Joe in the shit. He's the only real guy that's not a con artist or whatever the other guys do, you know, that were around the program.
I have a passion for animals. The big cats are my passion. Everybody knows I love lions. Right now I'm taking care of some, so I've not given up on my passion. I'll follow it. But it's also to help Joe get out, because he did not deserve 21 years. I don't care. And I don't know if I can say it or not, but he'd have got less time if he'd have killed her. I honestly believe that.
Yep, absolutely. I believe that too.
Especially,
you know, he would have less time if he I mean, we're locking people up and throwing away the key, and it's just now becoming evident because the last few years, the explosion of social, and people are really realizing the injustice that's been done to people forever. Whether they're gay or black or brown, or, you know, it's like, if you don't have the right person to pay and you don't have the deep pockets, well, you know, you fit into an agenda. So, and that's unfortunate.
Exactly.
But again, please continue. Thank you all for your support. I'm going to cut it short today because I'm definitely not the Tiger King. I just shot a lot of stuff with Joe, and I'm good friends with Rink here. And we're just speaking out because we were there. We experienced it before the hype, before everything.
Yeah.
You know, and he doesn't deserve to be locked up forever. So
help us out. You know, somebody said here, I don't think a new lawyer is going to be the answer. I think the lawyer we got right now is going to work. We just got to get a new judge. That is
exactly. The judge is biased. You know, Joe has a good legal team now, and Joe had a good legal team a year or two ago.
Yeah.
You know, they work very, very hard. People don't realize, you know, how much work has gone into this. And I know the lawyers are extremely frustrated to butt their head against, you know, the mechanism of the U.S. Prison industrial complex.
And the rights, you know, the animal rights side of this, the judge's animal rights. I don't care what you say, he is biased.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Rink, I won't take more of your time, and everybody, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
And we will do this again, and please continue to support Joe. Get his products from his official store, support to his commissary, and write the president.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love the shirt. I'll have to wear mine next week. I still got it. We got those on the tour bus to D.C.,
Yeah.
which they made look like was some lame publicity stunt, but they don't realize we spent hundreds of hours that year campaigning and working and stuff to free Joe. So it wasn't the joke they made it in the first episode, but it is what it is. So
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Rink, for tuning in. Y'all make sure you go follow Rink. He's the only real dude from Tiger King that's still out here banging. And Joe Exotic is absolutely innocent, deserves to be free. And so let's do something about us.
Definitely.
Let's do something about it. All right? Cool. Well, thank you very much.